Hello, welcome to the SMSU Virtual Cadaver Room. This video is going to show you how to just get the table started. So we're in SM 123. That's the Virtual Cadaver Room. When you come in at the table, there'll be a couple different binders, topic-specific instructions, and then there's also a binder called General Instructions. So if you're just doing a brief orientation to the table, whatever, you can look at either one of those for some instructions. The two monitors, the remote should be located on the table right underneath. Those are connected to the cadaver table, so you want to turn those on, and the TVs are going to replicate what's on the table. So then you're going to come over to the table, you want to take off this protective cover. Just fold it up, side to side, and then it also has the protective cover. You unhook them here on either side, fold it, it folds nicely in half, and then just so when you know when you put it back, the black felt side goes on the table itself, and then you're going to rehook it up, recover it, and then that's how you're going to put it away. We also do ask when you're using the table, and especially when you're done with the table, you will find laying around some microfiber cloths. If you would be so kind as to wipe it off and clean it, and then that'll be it. So I'm going to bring you over here. So the next thing you want to do when you come to the table, you're going to turn it on. So down by where the plug-in is, you'll turn it on. Basically what this is a couple giant computers, or think of it like a couple giant iPads. So you're going to turn it on underneath there next to the plug-in. And then the next thing you want to do right here, there's a toggle switch right here. You just push it. It doesn't stay to the left. It just is a toggle switch. And that's where you're going to then turn the table on. It takes some time. It's a large processor. Here, I'm going to put you guys here. It's a large processor, so it does take some time to fire up. And I'll be right back with how to use the table. Okay, so we're back. The Anatomage Virtual Cadaver Table is now ready to use. You'll see this large logo. You can also see here when we use the table that it replicates on the TV screens. So you can have 6 to 8 students comfortably around the table using it. But as you can see in this room right now, we have room for a lot of people to be watching what's going on the TV screens. So what you can do is if you have a large group, you can have some people running the table, or you can just run the table, or you could have students take turns running the table while the rest of them are watching. All right, the other thing that I want to show you before we get started is you can also use the table in vertical mode. So when you're looking at, there's 2 locks. So you push this lever down. Sorry, you couldn't see that very well. Let's try that again. So here, this lever goes down, up, and it'll tell you whether it's locked or unlocked. So that's one lever. And then the other lever is right here. The table also tells you which way to go to lock and unlock it. It's a little heavy, but one person can run it. You want to make sure that the brakes on the wheels are locked. Otherwise, the table likes to run away from you. All you do, come underneath, bring it up into a vertical mode. And then you will see that the table now is able to be used in a vertical mode. You want to make sure and lock it underneath. So I like to use the table in vertical mode. I'll slide it way back if I have a large group. This would be if you're just doing some demonstration, but you could also teach students how to use this in vertical mode. The way you use the table, there's a little bit less ability to use certain features, vertical mode versus horizontal mode. So most of the time, like I said, I'm using vertical mode if it's a large group, maybe a group of high schoolers that I'm presenting different things on the table and I will run it, whereas horizontal is where I'll usually do more teaching and more small group. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back on the table, and I know the video doesn't show in really good crispness, but you can get the idea. So when we're using the Anatomage table, there's a lot of different things we can do, but what I want to show you is how to get up the different cadavers, animals, things like that on the table. So right here in the lower left corner, there's an icon that says Table EDU 10.0.1. That's Table 10. That's the most recent edition we have. So if you're watching this later and it might say Table 11, we might have got an update. Double click. And then what's going to happen is you'll see, again, it takes a little bit of time to fire up. What I always tell people, this is 2 large computers, so sometimes we have to give it a little bit of time. Okay, so now you're going to get this screen here. The different boxes are different things. Cadavers is where you're going to find the 5 cadavers that are in this table. Functional anatomy has your cardiology, your kinesiology, your different body systems. Your case library has where all the animals are, and then again, a case library. And I have a list of the case library in the Teams folder, or if you need it, we can get that for you. There's hundreds of cases in here, everything from conjoined twins to smoker's lung, lots of different cancer, things like that. Histology is again, slides. The curriculum, that's if you want to dig into looking at what curriculum is out there. There's lots of curriculum already built. Pro section is actual cadaver photos. So pro section means parts. So it's photos of parts of actual cadavers. Most of them you can't dissect. There's 1 or 2 that you can, but that's a good app if you're looking at what does a real true human cadaver that's been dissected look like. And then the last one that we're going to use here is exit application. When you're done with using the cadaver, you want to exit the application. You're going to back out of the table just like I showed you. You're going to shut it off down here, wipe it down with the microfiber cloth, cover it with the cover, and then cover it again with that last cover. Okay, a couple things I want to run through really quick. Again, there's a ton of things to do on this table, but I pulled up the cadaver section. You can see again, there's 5 cadavers, all have different medical things going on. If you slide down regional anatomy, again, this is high definition regional anatomy, different regions of the body. High resolution means it's high definition. The total cadavers are not completely high res because it would take too much function of the computer. So this is probably the one that you may be most interested in. Whatever you pick, anything you pick on the table, if it is highlighted blue, then you know that's what you highlighted. And then over here, there's an open button. Again, it takes a little bit of time, so I'm not going to do that today. We're going to go to functional anatomy. That has the birth simulation, the fetus, cardiology, kinesiology, neural pathways. And then again, there's more full body cardiology. There's more pathways. There's a respiratory pathway. There's a dental section. There is ocular applications, neural pathways, a lot of different things in this functional anatomy. And then the case library, again, it's got, I was just pulling up, it's got a tortoise, it's got a dog, a cat, the conjoined twins, tons of cases, fractures, cancers, things like that. So if you pick one of those, there's an arrow here that would take you, so you can see now the tortoise is highlighted, and then I would push that arrow and get the tortoise to pull up. I am going to pull up that because what I do want you to see, so this is an example of the tortoise. On a lot of these applications, you use the eye, so you can see that, the eye function. So depending on what you have, the eye function gives you a lot more to look at. So for example, this, I can use it as an X-ray. So then it looks like an X-ray. I'm going to do transparent hard tissue, soft tissue structures only. So there's different applications there. Okay, so if you want to back up, you can go to the home button, that'll bring you back to this screen. And then pro section, again, we're going to see actual cadaver, different sections that you can look at. Again, whenever you're changing from one screen to another, it does take some time. So that's a quick rundown of the cadaver.